morning, guys. So it is Monday morning, and I'm going to go ahead and read the chapter. So I will also be posting the chapter, but I wanted to make sure I gave you both formats for those who like to listen and for those who like to read, okay? So we are on Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is called New State, New Team, New Attitude. I was in the second grade when we moved to Maine. By then, I'd had half a dozen eye surgeries. Each time my eye muscles were examined, the surgeon snipped here and there and stapled somewhere else. One time he replaced a hyperactive muscle with a fiber one he had created. Another time he had to remove an infected muscle. Unfortunately, no one could tell us how long I would need these yearly surgeries. As a result of them, my vision improved and my glasses got thinner, but the procedures involved wicked pain, dehydrated eyes, and nausea. Following each surgery came a couple of weeks of restricted activity. I couldn't play with my dogs. With my eyes partially bandaged, my vision was limited. Mom drove me to school. I didn't want to use a walking stick, so I counted steps to help find my way. Some kids poked fun at me because I wore shades to hide my bandages. It was a happy day for me when my eyes healed enough that I could get rid of the bandages, until the next year when I'd have to face another surgery. Things were even better when I could get back to my dogs. I raced my Sibes for a couple of years, but I was afraid to go fast, so we always finished last, or close to it. I knew I should speed up, but I was too scared. Once in 2005, when I was running Alou, Diesel, and Mama in a competition in Jackman, Maine, the dogs got tangled. I dropped my snow hook in order to free up the dogs, hung onto my sled with one hand, and grabbed for the snow hook with the other. The moment I pulled it loose, the dogs felt the release. Wham! They bolted, and I got thrown backward off the runner. Mom told me she freaked out when my dogs barreled out of the woods without me. She said Alex, my big brother, grabbed the dogs and stopped them before they hit the finish line. He dropped my snow hook to hold them and charged into the woods looking for me. Josh, another brother, hopped on his snowmobile to help us. The guys found me a mile into the woods. They brought me back to my team, and I finished the race. Mom says I am lucky to have Alex. I know that, and I love him. The day I lost my team, I proved to myself I could keep my head and do whatever I need to do in such an emergency. Still, I was scared to run fast. Deep down in my heart, I knew I would never go far unless I conquered that fear. One day I told my mom, I don't want to race anymore. I just want to run the dogs for the fun of it. She looked at me like I'd said something wild. I had been mushing in competitions for 5 years. She knew I wasn't afraid of getting hurt. I'd come off the trail many times with twisted ankles, lost boots, and cuts and scrapes. Once a snow hook hit me in the ear. That's not the way to get your ears pierced. Another time a snow hook flipped up and struck in my leg. The day I came back with frostbitten feet, I said, "Look, Mom, my warrior bandages." Poppy knew I needed faster dogs if I was going to succeed as a musher. In the 2007-2008 racing season, he gave me his fastest dog, Virgil, aka Speedy. I remembered the first time Nana and I saw Virgil and his brother Justice in a litter of 9 Eurohound puppies. Virgil was so cute with his black body and white socks. I wanted to hold him. 3 weeks later, we returned to the kennel and bought both dogs. Virgil greeted me like an old friend, and I loved him from the start. The 2 puppies stayed at our house until Nana got a crate for them and took them home. Virgil and Justice grew into little monsters, always barking and peeing in the house. Nana just about went crazy from their waking her up so early in the morning. I played with Virgil whenever I went to Nana's house. When Poppy added him to his team, I saw more of him when we were training or running races. We always brought our puppies to the races to socialize them. That's when Virgil and I began to bond. The following season, Poppy ran Virgil as his lead dog. In many races, I walked Virgil to the starting line, gave him a kiss for luck, and sent him off. Realizing I needed a faster lead dog, Poppy gave me Virgil. By now, he was 2 years old and the best of the dogs. All brains and speed. The thought of running such a fast dog sent me into a panic. "Don't worry," Poppy said. "Sleds have brakes." I knew Virgil wouldn't hurt me, but I was scared out of my wits because he ran so fast. The first time I harnessed him up to go out, I glued my hands to the bar in preparation for the death launch. Virgil turned and looked back at me and winked. He really did. I liked that, but I was still terrified and hung on as my life depended on it when he charged forward. I could not shake my fear of running like the wind. Though white-knuckled at the first time I raced Virgil in competition, I tried to act brave. We placed third, and I relaxed a tiny bit. Then Poppy said, "Take Justice." Justice is not the smartest dog in the lineup, but he's all business and great as a wheel dog. That means he runs closest to the sled. He pulls me around corners or trees. He's fast, and there's not 1 ounce of quit in him. When we're not practicing or racing, he likes to play chase my tail. After I got used to running Virgil and Justice, Poppy gave me Sage, aka the Button. Fast and serious, she holds the team together. She runs well anywhere you put her, lead, point, swing, or wheel. The thought of running these 3 dogs now, the fastest and strongest in my kennel, nearly paralyzed me. They flew, and I hung onto the bar with a death grip. One day, Poppy put Sage in lead with Virgil. From then on, we took the year by storm. We were back in the game. I placed first and second in all of my junior races, though I always ran scared because Sage was so fast. It turned out to be the season I will never forget. When it ended, I was a state champion in Maine in the International Sled Dog Racing Association bronze medalist, thanks to Poppy's 3 speedy dogs. That's the kind of guts it takes to survive and triumph as a musher. At the time, I still had my Siberian Huskies, Glass, Finn, and Captain. We had fun together out on the trails, but they had no competitive spirit. The winner's circle would never hold them. I knew that, and I think they knew it too. When we realized I could handle speed, Mom sold my Siberians to a friend who runs recreational dogs. We bought our first Alaskans and Euros and began building a fast new team. During the winter of 2008-2009, I planned to run Virgil, Justice, and my new dog Peanut. Sage had been in my original lineup. When she became ill, I chose Peanut to replace her. Peanut runs fast anywhere but lead. That position is too much pressure for her. Her speed scares me too, but not as much as Sage's did. When I am near her in the kennel, she comes between my legs and looks up at me for a kiss. With Sage unable to race, I tried running Virgil in lead and Justice and Peanut in wheel. We ran 4 miles in 5 minutes and 12 seconds with the cart. We didn't have snow yet. Even with Sage at her best, I'd never run that fast. Virgil was awesome. He acted like the burden of worrying about another dog next to him was gone. He was free to fly. What a pleasant shock and a relief to see that he could run lead alone. Not many dogs can do that. They can't take all the pressure, but my Virgil, he was in his glory, and it was unbelievable. I felt like I was inside his head and he was inside mine. We flew over the trail with him leading and Peanut and Justice matching each other. We were one, my 3 black dogs and I. It was perfect. I looked forward to a winning year with this new arrangement. With Peanut doing so well, it was time to give Sage back to Poppy. He was glad to have her home again, but I missed her. My new team and I were learning to trust each other. I couldn't wait for the day when we'd have complete understanding. Until we reached that point, there would be spills along the way, and now and then I'd likely lose them on some trail. I was building my team by trial and error. It was hard work with more errors than I liked. But when I finally got it right, we'd been working as one dog with one goal. We'd do our best and have fun in the process. All right. That's chapter 5. Okay, stay tuned. Bye!